the Embassy of Kuwait allegedly canceled a contract with a Washington, D.C. hotel just days after the presidential election, citing political pressure to hold its National Day celebration at the Trump International Hotel instead, according to sources inside the embassy. A contract was signed with the Four Seasons Hotel in early fall, but following the election, members of the Trump organization contacted the ambassador of Kuwait and encouraged him to move his event to Trump, D.C., with al-sabah has denied the majority of these reports. The ambassador confirmed on Tuesday that the National Day event will be held, in fact, you guessed it, America, at Trump International Hotel. Now, herein lies the problem. Now, we've heard Democrats over and over make this argument. Keith Ellison made it a couple weeks ago, roughly basically saying that, you know, the fact that the president's using this office, right, to create political gain for himself is problematic. He's using the office of president to make money. And that is, you know, some would argue against the law. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but I do find reports like this problematic. Now, and I'm going to be very real with you guys, like, I don't like Donald Trump like the next guy, but do I think like Donald Trump is actively, you know, going out and telling people that they have to stay at Trump Tower, they have to have their event in Trump Tower? No, I don't think that. Do I think people in his organization might be doing it? Do people in his sales department have sales goals to meet? Of course they probably are, right? And do I think that diplomats feel pressured, that they understanding that if they stay, do they feel as if they stay at Trump Tower, they will gain favor amongst the Trump administration? Likely. But this is sort of part of the problem that America created when we elected Donald J. Trump, a real estate guy who has hotels everywhere, right? And it's the same problem that we encountered when you think about his Muslim ban, right? Which the White House has redone this week. And it focuses on now it's only 6 countries, but it excludes all the countries now, Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as all the countries where Trump has business dealings. And we've never counted this before as Americans. And I really feel as though that Donald Trump should have done more along the way of recusing himself from his companies, right? But I think what's even more problematic is the fact that his sons do get Secret Service protection, which, you know, kids of a sitting president usually do get Secret Service protection. But when they go on these trips to promote the Trump organization, basically the U.S. government's footing the bill. Now, here's the thing. I think it's the cost of doing business as a country. So, like, I wasn't the guy who made, you know, a big deal about, you know, Obama going golfing and Obama going to Hawaii and how much that cost the American taxpayer. Because I think that's what you do. Like, when you're president of the United States, you got to move around. I think you got to go on vacation every now and then. You have the worst job in the world. I don't know why anybody would want it, right? So I think it's your job. I mean, whatever. I don't care. But I find, you know, the fact that the Trump Tower is a couple blocks from the, you know, the White House, and, you know, diplomats are trying to gain favor with the United States government, because they feel they should stay at Trump Tower. And I find that to be a little bit problematic. Now, what does the president do to fix it? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I hate to say this, but maybe I'm on the conservative side of these things, because I don't really go as far as my progressive colleagues who are like, the fact that people are staying at Trump's Tower means that we should impeach him. I'm not sure if I'm there yet. But I think it's a story nonetheless, and I think we should follow these stories, because let me tell you what's going to happen here, folks. The Trump White House is slowly going to unravel itself, and we're seeing it unravel itself very slowly. And these type of stories would lead to, now, I think it would be more concerning to me is that the Russians start staying there, right? Then, you know, that's the room for concern. But this is a story, and if the Trump organization is actively pushing people to stay at their hotel, saying if you stay at the Trump Tower instead of going to the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton to have your events, then you will lose favor with the Trump administration. Now, that's problematic, and I think the president has to find a way to correct it, or his sons, who are managing the company, have to find a way to correct this. But that's the problem. Listen, America, they are who we thought they were, as I said last week on the show, and once again, this is another example of when folks said they elected and they wanted a businessman, you got one. But with the businessman comes all these type of trappings, right? So I guarantee you this, the Trump administration is making money beyond the pale, Especially because, just think about this. Like, I mean, we talked about this last week on the show, right? How much money the Trump organization is making off the government. Because Trump Tower, where the First Lady lives, and Bannon, and I guess some of the Trump kids live there too, I don't know. But the U.S. government has to protect that, and to protect it, they have to stay there, and them staying there means that, you know, this type of thing happens. You know, that's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Pay attention to these things, because these things, you know, create situations that one would deem to be at some point problematic. So we as a country should be concerned about it.